G'day and good morning. My name is Zoe Betar, like egg beater, and I'm a very proud Bundjalung woman. Before I start, I would very much like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and to all Indigenous members in the audience today. So, community catalyst, when people think of that role, they're like, what the hell is it? Um, I grew up in Tweed Heads. I'll tell you a bit about myself and then I'll tell you about my role. I grew up in Tweed Heads. It's just by the Gold Coast, so beautiful beaches and lots of tight community, but very racist and backwards. So being an Indigenous young one, I decided to come down to Sydney, where I got my education in years 11 and 12 and my university degree. It wasn't until I came to Sydney that I actually felt a sense of pride in myself as an Indigenous woman. And it wasn't until then that I realised that there were plenty of Indigenous organisations that wanted to actually reach out and help out my communities. And it was in years 11 and 12 that I first came in contact with AIM, the Australian Indigenous Mentoring Experience. These guys actually helped me get my HSE, and these guys also helped me choose my degree. I love working with kids, and that's where I fit in with the Forever Young topic. I'm a qualified teacher, English and history, and I love it. I will live vicariously through my kids to keep me forever young. I have adapted the Peter Pan kind of mentality. I don't ever want to grow old. I might get wrinkles, but I'll probably always still be graffitiing on the streets and running amok. But yeah, so I love what I do. I love teaching, and it was in my university degree that I actually volunteered to work with Indigenous high school students myself and work with the AIM program. I managed to get $750,000 worth of funding for AIM, which I was really proud of because it actually helped us branch from the East Coast to the West Coast. And it was there that I met Carla McGrath, who is a staff member of the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence, which is where I am today. Community Catalyst, what I do is, without any tech savvy brilliance at all, I run a social media website. Go figure. And on this site, it's Indigenous only, and it's a chance for Indigenous professionals and mentors and organisations to chat to our young ones, give them some advice, lend a hand when they need it, and it's where I host what's called a hangout. This is where we have those discussions about drugs and alcohol, about physical and mental health, about racism, about identity. Like, talking to these young ones, I have realised that people struggle a lot with who they are. Growing up as a kid, you always ask these questions: what do I want to be? You get asked the questions: where are you going to be in like 5 years? Are you going to change the world? And as a kid, you think you are. You're going to change that world. You're going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. And you have that potential. But when you hit 13, when you hit high school and you realise life isn't as simple as you thought it was, you stop thinking that you can change the world. And my role as a community catalyst, want to reverse that mentality. Every single individual has the capacity to make the difference. It's all up to us to kind of keep that child within us, keep those dreams alive, and ignite a fire that will actually allow the world to be a better place. Forever young is a hard concept to talk about because I'm 23 years old. I lived as a single parent household, youngest of 4, so I got away with murder as a kid, which was brilliant. I do dress up as a fairy. I write stories, never been published, never wrote scripts. I love watching films, I love music, and I love just hanging out with mates, just kicking it, having a few beers, and I think that's the kind of forever young thing that will never actually change, because it's the people that make all the difference in my life. Social media, the thing that I run with, the programs that I work with, has allowed me to get in touch with people from all over the country. That's the power of today. We can actually talk to somebody that's overseas. We can talk to people that are over in WA, which is it basically is overseas. It's a 6-hour flight. It's bloody ridiculous. But one of the programs that we also run is the after-school care program. This allows kids to get in contact with some AFL players like Adam Goods, to run some workshops, to get some tech-savvy elder programs running so that it's the young ones that are actually helping the old ones. So we can actually connect them on a gathering space, and we can actually help educate one another, and it breaks down the intergenerational gaps that we have. And this is kind of the amazing thing with the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence. It's all about excellence, and it's all about promoting those stories that encapsulate the fact that young ones are helping old ones, that organisations across the country are helping our people, the Australia's First Peoples. And it's something that I'm very humbled to be a part of. And being 23, I have gone through a number of different life changes, and I have made a number of different life goals, and I've kicked them. I've absolutely smashed them. And the main one of that was getting my degree. Being the youngest of four, not really having much of a brain for law or science or anything like that, had no idea what I wanted to do. I love kids. Kids are my everything. I just want to be able to help them because I had a tough childhood, and I think it's one of those things that as adults, as teenagers, as people that have life experience, we all have something to offer, and we all want to secretly be that little kid that we used to be, jumping in puddles and running around and drawing on walls. And I don't know if you necessarily want to be vomiting on other people, but when you're drunk, it kind of happens naturally. Embrace it. But yeah, so the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence, get back on topic, it's in Redfern, and it's an amazing organisation, and it's a chance for all people to kind of get involved in helping our young ones, the First Peoples of Australia, to get a leg up in life, run programs, after school care, the Tech Savvy Elders, Community of Excellence, online social media page that I run, and I'm trying to get a little bit more funky and get all these resources. And yeah, this is the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence, and it's always going to be young because it's all about the people that are on the page. It's all about the people that are chatting, and it's all about the communities that we work with. So stay young, guys. And I'm just going to wrap it up there because I have nothing else to talk about. So, cheers.